What's up, crypto peoples? Cryptobeast here, and that's the crypto guy, as you remember from
That's
the last
me.
episode. So in this episode, we're going to be discussing investments, as we promised in the last one, and wow, it's
Yes, shit hit the fan.
shit hit the fan. Exactly. Look, we're going to walk you through how we made the investments and exactly why we made them, and I think it's a really good way for you to understand how to find the good companies, and we're also going to explain how basically that crypto guy lost almost everything. So let's get straight to it. So before we started doing our short and mid-term investments, what we decided to do is build a portfolio of coins and tokens. And I think this is the important stage because even though most of your profits will come from short and mid-term or the current profits, you need a portfolio that's going to pay off in the long term. Something to build a base on,
You
basically.
got to put your eggs in different baskets.
Exactly.
You know? Yeah, you can't put them all in one place.
And I think the best way to start is to start with let's say 4, 3, 5 coins, which you're gonna hold for a long time. So I'm gonna let that crypto guy explain which coins and tokens we chose and why, basically.
Thanks, mate. One of the first ones we got involved in is a DeFi project from back in 2017 called Lend. It didn't really take off then, but now the DeFi projects are really booming. They've rebranded and restructured to AVE, but the concept is still the same. There's still a DeFi platform.
So like the main reason we invested in it is because AVE is like the future of DeFi. The advancements that they're making is a little bit above what others are, but currently it's not really going to see that price hike, and it hasn't even during the DeFi boom.
It'll take a while.
It's going to take a while. So that was one of we put, I think it was 20%
There for the long haul. Yeah, we split 20% out and put 20% into Lend.
Exactly. So that was the second one. Was which one was it?
XRP.
XRP. So,
Ripple.
yeah. So a lot of people will hate us for it.
Yeah.
What was your sort of opinion? We did discuss it a little bit.
Ripple is used as a mediator between cryptocurrencies and fiat, is which I sort of understood initially. But after you explained it a little bit better to me.
Yeah. So XRP is. It's just a way for Ripple to make money, basically, in regards to the coin itself. But at the end of the day, XRP is the third or the fourth largest cryptocurrency in the world. Its trading volume is extremely high.
It has a limited supply, right? So
this is the thing. So it has a limited supply, and the CEO, as everybody knows, he's selling the XRP every month, crazy amounts, and they're paying their investors in XRP, etc. But at the end of the day, this will run out. And XRP
value
exactly
will skyrocket eventually.
It is more of a risky investment, and the reason is because there's been talks about them dropping XRP as a currency, as the company itself.
Yeah.
They've been talking about doing an IPO, which is an initial public offering, and that also will just completely destroy XRP. But as a long-term investment, and looking at the all-time high, there are possibilities of it, of you making a small amount of profit. So after that, we started investing in Ethereum. Ethereum is probably one of the most well-known cryptocurrencies. What's your first opinions on it?
My first opinions on Ethereum. It was the second cryptocurrency
That's
to
right.
be created, right?
That
Correct.
was the second one, yeah.
And they created a platform for people to build their tokens upon, is what I've sort of understood from there. So that gave it like a massive utility.
It's a smart contracts platform.
Smart contracts platform.
Right,
there you go. So and that gave it all the utility for people to have to use it to create the tokens. People have to buy Ethereum to buy other tokens. So sort of maybe initial offerings and new projects people want to get involved in, they have to use Ethereum.
That's right. It was the first true utility cryptocurrency in the world, and the reason I'm really bullish on it at the moment is because Ethereum 2.0 is coming out.
Yeah, if it ever comes out.
That's true. That's true.
A lot of whispers. Yeah, will it? From what I hear, some other people are trying to get their projects to do the same thing before they get there. But the problem is that nobody's going to use their project.
This is the issue.
Because
So
everyone's building on Ethereum.
exactly. So with it, like we had this discussion before, the thing with the industry is that the big investors, that it takes time for them to invest in the cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
And they want something that's been around for a while. So this is
Stability.
yeah, stability. So this is why Bitcoin and Ethereum are seeing large investments now. You see big companies, but at the end of the day, these currencies are old in technology. They're slow and they're useless.
Yeah.
There's other blockchains and smart contract blockchains, which, for example, which we're going to discuss, like Tasos or a couple of others, which are better than Ethereum. But people are coming on board, and the developers on Ethereum, there's more of them than any other blockchain in the world. So
trying to find a developer on these new blockchains.
It's impossible.
No one's bothered to waste the time to learn the way to develop on it.
Exactly.
With nobody even interested in building on it.
Exactly. So this is why our investment is more technical. We're thinking about the utility, and we know that Ethereum will still be utilized in many years to come. So that's why we made that investment.
And we wanted to make some investments with it.
That's right.
we needed to use it to invest in some other projects. So
Exactly.
we had to use it as a utility, not just for its foreseeable greatness.
Exactly. With the launch of Uniswap, there's so many new projects, and I would say maybe 1% of them are actually pretty good. So, so this is why you need to have Ethereum in order to become an investor in the industry at the moment. So the next coin we invested in was Tasos, and
yeah, I did my own little bit of research into Tasos actually, or Tasos, however you want to call it. The cool thing about this project is that the people that hold the Tasos coin have the voting rights over the development work, and then developers will be paid for their work that gets approved by the community and paid in Tasos for it.
And that's the amazing part. It's like we said, there's not a lot of developers on other blockchains, and what Tasos is doing is they're basically combating that issue by allowing the community and basically the coin holders to vote in those developers and get them paid. Yeah. And this is what a lot of blockchains are missing. They're expecting developers to come on board and create dApps on it, but it's not happening.
No, they're not going to walk up to you, yeah.
Exactly.
Hi, can I develop for you, please?
Everyone's experience is in Ethereum, and that's why Ethereum is so huge. But in the future, Ethereum just won't be good enough unless Ethereum 2.0 is the most crazy development.
Like you said, it's all about decentralization. It's about giving the power back to the people, and that's what Tasos have done here, which is great for the community.
And I think Ethereum 2.0 won't give that power. Even though it will be proof of stake and there'll be voting rights, I believe it won't be as good as Tasos. And this is why we believe in Tasos, basically, and this
Get
is why
the developers in, and it could be way better, man.
Yeah, and a lot of people are saying it is a better project, but it's just for the future. It's not for now.
Yeah.
So that's why it was one of our investments. So the final long-term investment that we made was ADA, which is Cardano.
Cardano, yeah.
I think it's a little bit difficult to sort of understand Cardano for anybody who's new in the industry, and I think it's for me and for anybody.
What I understood is that like it's a really great blockchain, but the development is what's lacking.
Exactly. Everybody wants quick development, and it's really difficult to appreciate a project when the development is slow, because if it makes people think that
when moon,
you
get everyone crying.
Exactly.
And people lose faith in it.
People lose faith. They either get bored, they move on, etc., etc. But it's a top 10 project. First of all, the development, they're doing every little detail perfectly, and at the moment they're only on the decentralization stage.
So yeah, if you've got time to wait and you are interested in long-term investments and something that will pay off eventually, it's definitely one worth looking into.
Yeah, don't take this is not financial advice. This is not, nothing is ever definite, but it is a really hype project, and I actually know some people who sold their house just to buy ADA for long-term investment, and this is no joke. I've heard of people doing it.
Okay.
But we're gonna show you up on the screen so you can see. Initially, they've got these funky names for each development stages, and there's 5 of them, and they're only on the second, and this is after how many years now?
Shelly.
So they're on the Shelly, which is decentralization, which basically means they're moving on to the mainnet now, and it's gonna happen hopefully this year, but maybe early 2021.
I kind of like the funky view they got going on with like the old pictures and sort of like a little bit obscure and bitty as well. It's interesting.
Yeah. And the team is great. The development, the technology is incredible, and basically ADA is a competitor to Ethereum, and this is what I think ever since the inception of Ethereum,
Everyone's been trying to do.
Everyone's
How
trying to
can
do
I
that.
make it better?
Exactly, and nobody's been able to take over
Yeah.
Ethereum. And if there's going to be one company that will take over Ethereum, it's going to be Cardano. And the next stage is going to be smart contracts, which is where Ethereum is, and then there's going to be scaling, which is Ethereum 2.0. I'm just giving you the comparisons, and then the governments, and that's where they're going to make it or break it. If they do the right governments, for example, like Tasos did, that's what's going to make them either better or worse. So it's going to take a long time, but that was our final investment, and this is a really long-term investment, basically.
Yeah.
So let's get into the part that all of us want to talk about, and that is the short to mid-term investments. And the reason it's really exciting now is basically because of Uniswap. And Uniswap is a decentralized exchange. It's a DEX, and I'm sure all of you have been hearing about it. And they basically brought the ICO era back into 2020.
Here's a couple of fun facts for everyone. You'll remember the Uni airdrop token.
Yeah.
Well, here's why it happened. In early September, more than half of Uni's 800 million worth of vital liquidity moved over to Sushiswap. And a week later, to bring users back, Uni actually airdropped its native token to a value of over 500 million.
Crazy.
To anyone using the platform before September. And luckily I got in because we'd gone on there to look at a couple of projects.
Yeah, so like anyone who was investing before, is it the beginning of October or something?
Beginning of September.
That's
when SushiSwap stole half of their liquidity, basically. And they were like, what?
And the crazy thing is, SushiSwap was initially a scam. The person who created it, I think he was linked to another project. I will put it up here because I can't remember exactly the name. But somebody found the IP address of another project. Anyway, he stole a lot of money. It was like $400 million, and he gave it back. He gave it back.
That's the best part.
Yeah. So I assumed like someone cracked down, or the government cracked down on
Looks
him.
like that.
But either way, it's crazy how these DEXs work and how all this DeFi, because SushiSwap was a DeFi project basically. Either way, this is what Uniswap did. They tried to get the market back, and they did.
500 million. Woo! It's more than the government did for anyone during lockdown.
Right? Yes. This is the funny thing is, and we'll put this image up as well, is what Uniswap did to people is more than the US government did for people.
Across like 6 months, across the whole
right?
year, yeah.
It's crazy. So, look, Uniswap is a great project. It's actually listed on Binance now, and I think this is why the actual token pumped after the airdrop. And I've never seen that. I've never seen somebody airdrop so much of their token and then they still go up in price.
And they were like, we want some of that. Yeah,
well done to them, yeah.
Good job.
So let's discuss the actual projects we invested into by using Uniswap.
So at this point, I wasn't really at the right stage to be making investments by myself. So I let Beast lead on this one.
Yeah, and so what I like an idiot, I looked at the market and I didn't really do any research in regards to quick gain possibilities, but what I did is I looked at recent sort of pump tokens and coins, and
like you said, ICO phase sort of coming back, bringing back memories of ooh, hit it quick.
And it works sometimes, and the issue is that there's a lot of people who are able to pump a project, and let's say influencers. And there was a project called Chain Games, which was under the launch pad of another project, which was extremely successful. Now, I'm not going to drop any names, because in my opinion, this isn't a really sustainable way to launch projects, simply because there's an influencer influencing the initial launch of the project and influencing the pre-sale. And this is the mistake that I've made a long time ago, and I really don't know why I made it again, to be honest.
Well, sometimes you need to make it twice to learn.
Yeah, well, it's been more than twice.
Okay.
So what we did is we didn't get on the pre-sale, but it launched on Uniswap, and this is why we're talking about Uniswap.
Got straight in.
So the way it worked is that the pre-sale, the only way you could get into the pre-sale if you owned the other coin by the other influencer. So when you did, then you were able to buy at 0.01 cent. And then when it launched on Uniswap, they said it will launch at 0.01, but it didn't. It really launched.
0.04.
It was around 0.04. And even though it might have launched at 0.01, like nobody can really say it wasn't available within the first second at that price.
The chart wasn't reading 0.01 at any point.
And but it was like a month ago or something, and the gas fees were so astronomical, and the time for a transaction to go through, the amount of gas we were using was just ridiculous. So we paid too much for the token, and the price has never gone above that, really. So a lot of people basically got sucked, and this is this is the way I think you should be investing. If you can't get on the pre-sale, then wait. Don't invest straight away as soon as it's launched on a DEX or a SEX, centralized or decentralized exchange, because you're just not going to get it at the right price.
Just get eaten at the pump.
Exactly.
Like us.
The reason we invested in the project is because Chain Games is a gaming project. They have their own game, which is
Super Crypto Kart.
Pretty
cool, like Mario Kart style sort of game.
Exactly. So they have a product. They have a team that is developing continuously. So there are possibilities, and the gaming industry and the blockchain industry is probably going to be one of the biggest things to hit the blockchain industry.
The cool thing that did happen is they recently partnered with Atari, which is massive.
Yes.
But we didn't see any move in the price to reflect this.
Nothing.
So yeah, short to mid-term investments, maybe it's more of a long-term.
It might be more long-term, or these partnerships aren't really that important. Do you understand? They're saying we're partnered with Call of Duty, with other games, and we're going to integrate with them.
API integration.
But the thing is, the API integration isn't in-game integration. It's not.
So its utility isn't there because your average Joe is not going to jump on and use it.
Exactly, and that's the whole point. If you can get the actual players within the game, then it's a big thing. But having an API, only people like us will be able to utilize it.
And it's not going to be big enough.
Exactly. So it's in my opinion, it was a wasted investment. But I'm not saying the project is bad, and I'm not saying that it won't go up in the future. But as a short to mid-term investment, it wasn't very wise.
Didn't get what we wanted out of it.
It wasn't at all. So, before we end the video and talk about how we basically lost everything, the final investment, and this is the one I'm personally the most bullish and excited about, is Axion. And Axion is a clone of Hex. Now, for those of you who don't know Hex, Hex was created by Richard Hart. Now, Richard Hart basically created DeFi and the whole world around it. But what he did is that, just like many other people in this industry, he got greedy. And I'm not, like, I've spoken to him myself. Yes, I'm not going to say anything, but he just got too greedy. But he had an amazing idea in regards to how a blockchain can work with the governments and the way it gives back to the people being involved, the stakers and the people basically utilizing it. And this is what Axion perfected.
Yeah.
And it's going to take a long time, and it's going to be a completely separate video if I'm going to explain it. So what I'll do is I'll leave some links where you can just speak to the community about this project. And honestly, there was a person actually who's already profited and bought a house just from the profits from the pre-sale token, because it's not even mainnet at the moment. So definitely have a look at it. It's an exciting project, and they're doing things perfectly by giving, I think it's like 80% back to the community.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's move on to the
moving on. Like we made these investments, and you know, maybe the first one didn't pay off. Actually, I was really excited about as well, especially because it hasn't reached the main net, and I was really excited to get there. And I had like maybe 900k in tokens. Due to personal reasons, I had to restore my phone and reset up my phone, and my MetaMask account had my 12-worded seeded phrase stored as an image. I'd obviously deleted that image, and I was like, what am I gonna do? It's okay, the laptop I was using will still be logged in. No, the laptop had been restored too. So to put it in short, I've lost access to my account for not backing up my seeded phrase properly, and I can't stress enough, write it down, stick it on a USB. Don't send it to anybody, obviously, but keep it safe, because you know I've messed around and made a silly mistake, and now I've lost everything.
I think the first thing that everyone will tell you is back up your private keys and your seed phrases. And a lot of people, just like that crypto guy did, is he took a photo of it and then left it.
I wrote down some other ones, like wallets I don't even use, but my important wallet.
The main one, yeah. Didn't do it.
Oh.
So look, this is just a lesson learned, and
Please learn from my mistakes.
For that crypto guy, we're gonna start basically from the beginning.
Here we go.
And it's only episode number 2, and we're not making tens of thousands yet. So we're gonna start from the start, and in episode 3, we're gonna talk about more of our investments and the beginning of our journey, basically.
Here we go again.